Hey guys, it's Rich, our Everything Timber Frame Company made timber framer. Haven't made a video for a little while, but I wanted to share something with you to cut plywood and make it a little bit easier, especially if you're using a track saw. So I put a little video on there a while ago about a track saw, but when you cut your plywood there, you want to have something where you can cut your plywood, the ends don't fall off your fixture, you're not wrestling it when you get to the end. So what I've done is I made a Bullwinkle. Yeah, you heard it right, Bullwinkle. So I'm going to take the video camera around and show you what a Bullwinkle is and how it works. So it will make it so it's easy for you to cut your plywood with a track saw and not have your cut end or your long piece fall on the ground. Let me show you how it works. All right, so a Bullwinkle. So looking at a Bullwinkle, I'm going to get down here, try to focus in as best I can, and you'll see this piece here. That's 3/4 plywood. I cut it out on the CNC, and what you'll see is this right here, I've got 8 inches in between the two open pieces and then 4 inches on the end so I can get a small cut. I've got 8 inches, and then on the other end, I've got 4 inches down there. So when you make these slots in your plywood, I just happen to have a couple of these workbench sawhorse affairs right here. So I've got these workbenches. They clamp into my Bullwinkle piece that I cut on CNC, and you could cut these things out with a jigsaw. And what you do is you make a match set. So I've got a set down here. I know I'm moving around with the camera, making you dizzy. I got you. And then you can see the set down here. And you put in your 2x4s. What I've done with the 2x4s is I ran these through a 4-side planer and made sure that they're all the same width this way. You could do the same thing when you cut your Bullwinkle, cut the openings to 1.5 inches and then drop in, standard 2x4s, and that'll give you the same purpose. Now, let me show you how this thing works. So I've got the plywood on top. I'm going to slide the plywood back over onto this, and you'll see how we're trying to line it up here. Okay, so now we've got it on here. If you'll notice, down here, you'll see your 2x4 here, right here. And if you look down on the far end, you'll see, well, I just slid it out just a tiny bit. You can see it way down there. So now you know you can take your track, change this up a little bit, for your track saw and set it up in the gap of your Bullwinkle, kind of like so. Let me move this one out of the way. Kind of hurried as we go. And let's say we cut here. If we make a cut here, and if you see how my track saw will line up, this will fall off. This piece here is supported, and this piece over here is supported by the Bullwinkle. So now when you put your track saw on, you've got a flat surface, you've got support on this side to cut, support on this side to cut, and you can cut your plywood straight down through. So when you make your Bullwinkle, one of the key things you want to do, and I can't stress enough down here, is you'll notice how I've got one opening here on this end, and then I got an opening here, and this one's actually in the middle. So what that does is that gives you, in my measurement, it's 4 inches of a cut that can still be supported. So when you cut your ears or your antlers for your Bullwinkle, you want to think about what your spacing needs to be so that you can keep a short piece supported on 2 sides. So notice the difference. If I had a 2x4 inside there, I could be right up on 2 or 3 inches and still support it over here with your 2x4s. All right, so that's a Bullwinkle. And what it is at Bullwinkle, if you remember the cartoon with the moose and his antlers, but you make a set of antlers, make a match set for your backside. You can make them with a width 1.5 inches to match up to a standard 2x4 bought at the store. Drop them in place, put them in 2 sawhorses, and presto mundo, now you can use your track saw. Set up your track saw so you're not cutting on a 2x4, but you're cutting in the middle. You got support in 2 places here, support in 2 or more places here, and presto mundo, you'll finish your cut. You won't get breakout in the end, and you won't have a piece fall on the floor. All right, give me some feedback. Click like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.